At the College of Business and Analytics. I know you might be hearing my voice is a little raspy. No, I'm not working on my next album or some sort of funky blues soul music that I can go play and perform at Little Nashville and Marion. Nope, that's not me. I had an enjoyable weekend celebrating my 50th birthday in the region with lots of friends, and it was enjoyable. And so obviously I enjoyed a little too much, and I was outside, and so I've got a little bit of a raspy voice. So bear with me. Hopefully, I can get you a little bit excited. At first, you're probably looking, newspaper and blogging. Tom, I thought you taught a digital marketing class at SIU. What is this newspaper thing you're talking about? Well, I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to kind of give you the outside the box kind of look at where digital marketing is going and how do we work collectively with other mediums. And as we get into later in the weeks, we're going to be talking about radio and TV. I'm super excited about as well. Many of these mediums have had to adapt and adjust over the years, the decades, to fit into this new digital realm that's kind of going crazy and where a lot of the market is at. Some of it's been hit and miss, but mostly they're just trying to adapt and survive. And so I think there's been some really great strides in these other mediums that are outside of digital marketing that can be friendly, that can be collaborative, and can help a business or an organization grow. And that's what we're all about at the end of the day, is growing our business and our organizations. So I want to tell you a little bit about this week. I'm hoping I might have to zoom it in, but for the previous semesters I've had Bill Swinford and Rachel Stroud of Swinford Publications, Swinford Media Group, come. Well, Rachel is now working for the city of Marion, and we were going to try to bring in Bill's son, Riley, who's done a lot of really creative outside-the-box thinking when it comes to marketing the newspaper and using digital marketing. So I'm hoping that we can get them on a Zoom for my class. But I wanted to kind of go over some of the citations. I wanted to go over the resources that I provided my students this week that we're going to have discussions on, because I thought it might be helpful for you to understand we don't have a textbook. I have opted to not do a textbook. So what I do is I research case studies, I research blogs, other articles, everything that's kind of institutional, very popular, easy to read. I try to include them as written video, YouTube videos, and podcasts, something that will help everybody try to connect in some sort of way the content that I want them to learn about. It's been pretty effective so far, but I thought this week might be really important to share with you what it is that we are actually reading and discussing. So let's start off with blogs. We're going to be starting off with the state of the blogging industry in 2020. That's about as old, as far back as I'll go, is about 3 years. Okay, so I'll be updating a lot of this content for my class, rolling this over for 2024, getting some more current updated content. So we're going to talk about the state of the blogging industry as a whole in 2020. We're going to talk about guest blogging case studies, 5 big lessons from writing 43 guest posts in 3 months. Writing and being a part of other guest bloggers and getting on other institutions, their pages, businesses, and organizations is key. You have content, you have things that you can write, especially if you're a great writer. Distribute these not only on your page, but distribute them out and get your name, build your brand. Yes, we want to drive traffic back to your website, don't get me wrong, but it also helps when you're starting out to do that guest blogging, guest podcasting, guest whatever it is, live stream, to get your name out there and always have some way to drive them back to where you want them to go. So we're going to talk about 43 guest posts in 3 months. The last one that we're going to talk about is 13 case studies on business blogging and long-term profitability. So if you can see here, we're trying to give different inbound marketing strategies that we can use blogging for. And so we can also use blogging to create money, to create revenue. That was real big about 10, 15 years ago. I've known quite a few people that have done a great job of that. But even blogging is now kind of transitioning into podcasting and live streaming. Blogging is excellent, excellent, excellent for SEO, search engine optimization. But depending on the resources that you have, it can be very time consuming, because what you want to do is write something that is also trending, has those searchable keywords, and that people are going to want to read. and they're going to want to read your stuff consistently because you have a different take on it or you have something new to bring to it. Now, we're going to dive in and talk about newspaper. So I've got some very interesting papers and videos that we're going to watch. The first one deals with what happens when a newspaper dies. This is the actual impact on a community when a newspaper goes away. The next one that we're going to talk about, if it comes up here, let me refresh that. U.S. newspapers continue to die at a rate of 2 each week. So we're talking about the newspaper industry, but there's some key elements in each one of these that I want the students to pick up on. And the other one is why marketers are returning to traditional advertising. So we're tying this in to make sure that we don't obsolete or we get rid of a medium that might be relevant for a specific niche or a group of people that you are trying to market to. Just because you think they might not be there doesn't mean they aren't there. So do the research and find out how newspapers can fit into your digital marketing strategy. Not to mention that a lot of them are being creative, and we'll talk about this in class. My students don't even know this yet. I had the opportunity to look at a local newspaper that, guess what they did? They did last week's class and this week's for me. They combined in their newspaper in the upper right-hand corner a QR code, and that QR code takes them where? To more in-depth interviews about the content in the newspaper. So if you want to have those one-on-ones and you want to learn a little bit more about the newspaper, guess what? You can click that little QR code and get an actual audio version of that. I thought that was genius, very creative, outside the box. So these are all things that we're talking about this week at the College of Business and Analytics in my digital marketing class. If you're interested in coming to SIU, being a part of the COBA as we call it, we've got accounting, we've got marketing, we've got MBAs. Come here, check us out. You'll see the little scrolling thing there. I always try to get it backward. There we go. You'll see www.business.siu.edu. I want to tell you, this is a great program. This is a great college. Lots of committed teachers, a lot of committed people here, wonderful students. I can't speak highly of them enough. And guess what? You get to do it here and be a Saluki all at the same time. So have questions, reach out, look down below at the scrolling marquee. Ask me. I'm happy to connect with you. But we would love to have you, your children, adults, veterans. Would always love to see the veterans come through the program at any time. So as always, I'll end this with, go Dogs.